high violent crime area, had about 5% of the city's population, was accounting for over 11% of the total city's violent crime, um, drug, prostitution, a lot of nuisance abatement issues like poor lighting, no sidewalks, large vacant properties that homeless were in, and then the violent crime that was happening because of that. So that basically open air drug market. So the area that you live in is known as a food desert because per capita there's not enough food locations to get food. 2012, we worked on programs that were all about the environment, cleaning up the environment, working on septet issues, crime prevention through environmental design. We linked up with the University of Texas, and then we applied for the BCJI grant. We got the grant in 2013. Actually, it was at the end of 2012. We did our research period in 2013. In the research period, we did a historical policing responses, but we put some tweaks on it because we knew that they don't. If you have historic things, but yet you still have problems in an area, then that means that that's not working, right? So we looked at some innovative approaches as well. So one of the things we did was a 100% enforcement, which is we arrested anybody that had, so for whatever infraction they did. So if they were crossing mid-block, then they would get arrested for that. If they had drug history, gang involvement, or any kind of violent crime involvement. At the same time, we started to work with the community on linking the different stakeholders together. So we had 4 different neighborhood associations or contact teams, 4 different neighborhood planning zones that were all into this 6 square mile, approximately 50,000 people area. And so we started to link those up and create a key stakeholder group called the Revitalization Team, which is still meeting today. Our weekly meetings and the big Restore Rundberg meetings, we're not getting the demographic of what the area was. Right. So we get like 20 people, but they don't represent what the actual demographic of the area is. And one of the major mistakes that some may have is when they talk about a community, they talk about it as one thing, like the community. But there are many different communities. You can't even say you have the Hispanic community. Within the Hispanic community, you have El Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Mexicans. You have Hispanics that were born and raised here. You have Hispanics that just got here, right? And so there's all these different communities in place. So it's very tough to kind of pull together and get a good idea of what a lot of people are thinking. So 2014, we saw that only 34% of the people that lived in the area felt safe. We saw that the 100% enforcement had 0 impact on violent crime. So, again, we got to do something different. Our 2015, we did the walking beat. We focused on community engagement. Our measures of success were not on how many tickets we wrote, but it was on how many contacts we made and that sort of thing. It's kind of going from a warrior mentality to a guardian mentality, right? We're your protectors. We're here for you, not we're here against you. And we call it a mobile walking beat because it would move from one focus area to another. So we figured out with the research partners where what they used to, we called them hotspots, and that was the term back then. Policing terminology is changing now to, they're calling it focused areas. They're trying to stay away from, when you start to call something, put a label on something, this is a learning point that we actually did learn though. When you label things with a negative connotation, a negative stigma, it gets treated as such. And that was our problem with our logo as well, with Restore Rundberg, and we learned from that because it kind of, it does have a little bit of a negative thing to it, right? Restore to what? And that's what a lot of people were concerned with. They're like, restore to what? Restore to when all white people lived here? That was a concern that a lot of people have. Making sure that where we did bring the hammer down, right? If we're going to apply force from the police department, that's going to be on the people that are actually committing violent crime and hurting the neighborhood. Not just this open thing where we're going to just write tickets to everybody, right? So you have somebody that's just trying to make it. They're a single mom, going to HEB to work or something, and we write them a ticket. Oh, how is that affecting the community? And so we really focused on getting the key players that were out there that were doing a lot of harm in the community. We worked with the county attorneys to get extended sentences, but then with the people that were basically victims of mental health issues and that sort of thing, we worked on getting them into different resources that could help them out. Creating a sustainment phase for the future, and that's why we created READ, which is the Rundberg Educational Advancement District. Positive, focuses on our strengths, which is we have this huge multicultural population. Our fastest growing demographic is the youth, 0 to 17. And so we have a ton of schools. So we're going to say, hey, this is what we're good at in this community, and we're going to focus on that.
What this corner is to me is like a sanctuary, you know what I'm saying? It's like I would compare this corner, this intersection to me like Muhammad would compare Kaaba and Mecca, or like Jesus would compare Jerusalem and you know like the sanctuary or in Jerusalem. Like this is the place in which I get a chance to translate my righteousness. And my righteousness is in weirdness. Like, right. It's like my righteousness is in weirdness. Like my weirdness, my expression of who I am and what I represent for is for every person. It's not just for blacks. You know what I'm saying? It's for anybody that's struggling to make a life for themselves. It's been, I would say, probably like the last less than 5 to 7 years, yeah. It's been drastic. Right. Like I would say it ain't been 10. It's been about 5 to 7 years. They have, when I say this community has changed, it used to be unsafe. Right. And I know both of you guys remember, this community used to be unsafe to walk in. Now all of a sudden, people are able to walk their dogs. That was a time when you see somebody running, you knew they was running for the police. Now when you see somebody running, you like, okay, that person must be working out or being fit. But there was a time when I was the only person running. Like in the community, I was the only person running. So the community been safe, prostitution went down, which was crazy because there used to be females on every block. You know what I'm saying? The gangs, like I got 10 different gangbangers trying to fight me on this corner. 10 different guys. So even with that went down. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely say that we still do have pockets of drug infestation still. Like down there, it's really bad. Right down in the Georgian area is really bad. So Rundberg, both areas is still have its issues, and I think it's because I personally don't think just bringing police fixes everything. Right. Like, what else are you implementing? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, you locking people up. Yeah, you doing that. You kicking them out. So you pushing up on the landlords. But what's the process of rehabilitation or therapy for these people? Because they go into prison, and when they get back out, they come back to the condition. So we all know they go to prison. There is no rehab or no therapy. So then, where is the transformation taking place? So me, I've learned how to stop working against the system and work with the system. And when you work with the system, you learn the system. Now you can be creative in that very same system, and you can make your own revolution. So that's what I've done. Is now I know the police. I just met the police chief today. Oh wow. Police chief man. I met the police chief of this area, Chief Reds. I met him during the protest. So now I'm connecting myself with power. You know what I'm saying? At first it was just coming out dancing, having a good time. Now it's like, I want to be able to make an influence on lives.